sauce.
Oh yeah, let's get
We're going to get it a little bit weirder right now, and we are going to kick it up a notch and talk about some of the weirdest, wackiest sports, with one of them being an absolute killer sport, literally. All right. When we got into this topic and we started looking at all these sports, there's literally hundreds of them, all right? A lot of them are regional, played in different countries. A lot of them you never heard of. And a lot of them are just bizarre. Well, we had to narrow it down to some sort of category. So what we got for you today is the top three. We narrowed it down to the top three.
Top three, yep.
Top three weirdest sports plays with a ball.
Yeah.
Top three ball sports, all right?
Yep.
Couple honorable mentions before we get into that list. Some really cool ones that we saw. One that I think is just super weird. It's a very big sport out in Asia and Malaysia and stuff like that. It's called Jai Alai. If you've never seen it, they got the big hooks on their hands and the massive long court, and they throw the ball off these big massive walls. Something like racquetball, but like much bigger.
Yeah, it looks like racquetball with kind of like a hook, right?
And you got
and
like
a bigger
a big
court.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just odd though because it requires so much space and it's a massive thing, and it just it's not a very competitive sport. You can kind of get to the ball most of the time,
Right.
but it's a massive sport. So it made our list as one of the honorable mentions. Another one that we thought was pretty cool. That's looks like it's really hard to play. You got to have a lot of skill. Is cycle ball.
Yeah, absolutely. You're playing soccer with a bicycle.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. All right. So imagine a little small indoor soccer court, and everybody's on these little track bikes, you know, that they're able to just maneuver, slam on the brakes, pop wheelies, and they just kind of dribble the ball with the front of the wheel. You're able to just hit it in with your wheel as you're riding past it.
Yeah, it's super popular, and we hadn't heard much about it, and it's got to take some skill, huh?
Yeah. Oh, it does.
Yeah.
And another one that's pretty cool that takes a lot of skill, and it looks like it's becoming a lot more popular, and it's a lot more user-friendly.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of it on, little clips of it, on YouTube or on TV somewhere. It seems like it's gaining popularity.
This third one, honorable mention, is called tech ball.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now, if you're familiar with ping pong, it's basically ping pong with a soccer ball and no ping pong paddles.
Yeah, and it's on like a curved table, right?
Exactly.
Or an arched table.
Right, and it's very similar in rules. The ball has to go over the net, land on the other side. When you return the ball, you're able to use your feet, your head, things like that, and you send it back the other way. You usually play with doubles. You can play singles. And it's kind of fun for any level. You don't really have to be a professional. Playing cycle ball or Jai Alai, you really have to be a professional at it. This tech ball, people are buying them for their backyard
right, it can be like a backyard
setups.
Sport, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's crazy how all these sports are just variations of other sports put together, right?
Yeah.
This one's basically soccer, ping pong, put it together, create a new thing called tech ball.
Exactly.
Cycle ball is just soccer and I guess cycling, or just soccer on a bicycle, but it's just putting two other sports together to make a totally different sport.
Right. And we didn't include any sort of extreme sports, like all the X Games stuff into that.
We'll get into that.
That's a whole different walk of life. So we stuck with ball sports, big competition ball sports. All right, so that brings us to our top three sports played with a ball, all right? Those were a few honorable mentions, and now we down to the nitty-gritty good stuff.
The big three.
That's right. Okay, coming in hot at number 3.
Yep.
This is a big sport played out in Southeast Asia.
Yep.
Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines play this. It is called Sepak Takraw. Takraw.
Yeah, Takraw.
Okay, with the little intonation on the sound. It's Sepak Takraw, okay? Yep. Now, what is this? This is another game where you're basically, you're using a soccer ball to go over a net. But
it's just a combination of the two, right? A different ball, but a combination of soccer and volleyball.
And volleyball.
Right.
Tech ball that we just told you about was soccer meets ping pong. Sepak Takraw is soccer meets volleyball, all right? So, before we get into that, here's a little clip of that, all right? Okay, so that's what it is, basically. You can see it consists of two teams playing against each other. Each team has 3 players, all right? Some of the rules are you're able to use your feet, chin, and head to hit the ball over, okay? The court size is 13.4 meters by 6.1 meters, all right? And for those of you in America, that's about 44 feet by 20 feet, all right? It's like a badminton's doubles court, more or less. Okay?
Yeah, badminton's doubles court.
Something like that. You know, not too big, but not too small. It is, the word actually means Malay. The Malay word for kick is sapak, and then the word for ball in Thai is takraw. Okay? So that's what it means. It is a pretty big league, actually. This is the biggest of all of our sports on the list.
Yeah, it's definitely become more popular recently.
All right, and so basically there's some different divisions, but the main World Cup with all the teams in it consists of 18 clubs and 6 international clubs, all right? So the 18 clubs are out of Malaysia, all right? Currently, right now, the champions are the KL Thunder, all right? KL Thunder are the current champs, and it's a relatively new sport. It was only founded in 2014.
Yeah.
So maybe you haven't heard of it. Maybe you have. You probably haven't seen too much of it unless you're living in one of those countries. But it's only been around for about 7 years. You have the 2 divisions. You got a Premier Division and a Division 1. All right, so 2 different levels of competition. And, yeah, they have a big World Cup every year. They invite the different international teams to come in. You got all the teams from the league that can come in the Premier League. And they duke it out and kick it out to see who's the champ.
Oh, yeah, and I think the international tournament each year, they have more teams. So I think they're coming up with, it's gaining more and more traction. But I know it's, extremely popular down in Southeast Asia.
Exactly. The international teams, they have a team from Nangang, the Nangang City Voyagers. They have a team called the Islanders that I think are from Hong Kong. A Korean team called the Haiichi. A Chinese team, the Chinese Great Wall. The Indonesian team, the Indonesian Garuda. And a Singaporean team, the Singaporean Lions.
Nice.
All right, so sounds like it's one of those things. In the next probably 10 years, we're going to have teams from every country.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a thing called the Southeast Asian Games out here in Asia that is all of those countries. Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines. You're talking about 500 million people right there. They have a lot of these games like that they play locally, that they have these competitions and big World Cups. So this is the biggest one of them down here, and it is number 3 on our list right here.
Yeah, it's a cool sport.
All right, moving on. This one we kind of had to just group into a category.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking and we were like, oh man, this one's cool. They're like, oh, this one's fucking cool too. And they were like, okay, there's like fucking 3 or 4 really cool variations of this sport. We'll just put them all together.
All right, so I'm going to go through these, and then Jay Stevens, you tell me what is your favorite one out of the ones we had, okay? So the main subgenre is polo. Polo variations, all right?
Which I really didn't think was very cool.
Right. Exactly. And I mean,
I was like, polo, dude. Come on now.
Yeah, polo's kind of one of those very obscure sports.
It's like a hoity-toity sport, bro.
It's a very poshy sport.
It's a hoity-toity sport.
Yeah, you got to have hella money.
Not my thing.
You got to have horses.
You got to have horses.
You got to have a big-ass polo field.
Yeah.
And you got to have a bunch of rich friends that have horses and all of that shit, too.
Yeah, it's a full circle kind of thing.
But if you are like us, a little bit more common folk, and you're looking for a way to enjoy the sport of polo, we got a few variations for you that I think you might like.
These are the polos for you.
Exactly. All right, coming in hot in no particular order except for our number 1. I got 3 warm-ups, and then we got our number 1 pick. A cool one that's a little bit more slow-paced is canoe polo.
Canoe polo.
Yeah, I actually think that sounds pretty cool. It's like relaxing.
Just kind of, it's just rowing yourself down there. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. It's a little bit easier on the body, you know. So basically, they set up a big field on a lake or a body of water, and you're out there canoeing, and there's a ball, and you hit it down the thing, and you score just like normal polo, except your horse is your canoe.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on.
I mean, I'm down for any sport where you could sit and play.
Yeah.
That's cool with me.
What about stand up and play?
Stand up and play polo?
Yeah, because if you like standing up and playing polo, this next one's for you.
Okay.
We got Segway polo.
Oh, but still don't need to move.
You don't need to move, but you got to stand
Yeah,
up, all right?
I'm in for Segway polo
Exactly,
too.
all right.
All right, count me in.
And this might be one of the future because this is Segways.
Yeah.
Segway, what we're talking about is those little electric carts that you stand on that you drive around with, right?
Yeah.
So now they got a bunch of techies that have formed a Segway Polo League, and you can basically get on the Segway and you maneuver around and whack the ball just like polo.
Fucking nerds.
And your horse is your Segway.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, Jay Stevens likes to sit
But
down.
maybe
so
I'll need to give it a try.
it's not the one for him.
Watch Jay Stevens bust his shit.
All right, well, I got two for you that you can sit down and play. Tell me what you think about these. The last little honorable mention on our list was unicycle polo.
Unicycle polo's dope.
Oh, yeah. Now, this looked dope. We checked into it. It is pretty cool. It's exactly what you think. Replace the horse with the unicycle. You got unicycle polo.
But with unicycle polo, they encourage you to use colorful language and drink beer.
Oh, yeah.
That is why it is my 1A of the polos.
1A of the polo,
1A of the polos. It was number one until we dug real deep.
Exactly.
And found our number one.
Oh, yeah. Now, this one is one that is specific to Asia, all right?
Yeah.
Coming in at number one on our polo variation list is called tuk-tuk polo. All right, now, those words mean something to some of you, and it means absolutely nothing to most of you. A tuk-tuk is a small little vehicle that they use around Southeast Asia to drive around.
Right.
All right? It's basically, if you could imagine a motorcycle, smaller kind of, old school motorcycle, and then they've built a little sidecar carriage on the side. It's got a little windshield. It's got a little seat next to it. They like to decorate them up with lights and stickers and all that sort of stuff. So you basically, that's called a tuk-tuk. In the Philippines, they're called trikes or tricycles.
Yeah.
It's a small little road passenger vehicle that they've thrown together with a sidecar and a motorcycle.
Sure, if you're ever visiting, any of those countries, Thailand, Cambodia, the Philippines, you're going to see tuk-tuks or trikes everywhere. That's probably how you're going to get around. But the ones we're going to show you in the clip look a little bit different than the ones you'll probably see.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And so what you do is, I'm glad. Let's show them the video right now so you can see what it looks like. Here's a video of what a tuk-tuk polo competition looks like.
Yep.
All right, so now that you've seen what it is, Jay Stevens, what do you think about this one? This is your pick?
Yeah, this is my pick for sure.
Exactly.
This is what we were talking about earlier on our introductions. This was Dom driving the little car and me fucking going around smacking the polo ball.
Yeah, when I said I was your tuk-tuk driver, this is what we're referring to. I was the tuk-tuk driver. He was the polo playing passenger.
Yes, sir.
Say that 5 times quickly.
Polo playing passenger, polo playing passenger, polo playing passenger.
That was our little warm-up here for this episode.
Yeah.
Little Anchorman style.
Yeah, getting our shit ready.
All right, so that was our number 2 on Weirdest Ball Sports. The countdown ending with tuk-tuk polo. And here is our number 1 ball sport of all time. And it might be the number 1 craziest sport in all of the categories, but it's played with a ball, so it just was a natural prize winner. This one is called, are you ready for it? Yeah, it's only a sport played in Italy, so I'm going to get my fingers ready, and I'm going to get my Italian accent ready. Let's see how I do with this one, all right? All right, so this one's called Calcio Storico Fiorentino.
Yeah.
All right, sometimes called just Calcio Storico or Calcio Fiorentino.
No matter how Zuki says it, you got to be a bad motherfucker to play this game.
Exactly. It might I might be saying it's soft, but this is no soft sport, all right?
No, it is not.
All right, so what the hell is it? Well, before we get into it, this is one of those things, the video only does it justice. Here's a video of that right here. All right, boom. What did you think of that? Holy cow.
Yeah.
That is a sport, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's a sport.
It is basically, the objective is you have to advance the ball down the field like rugby or American football.
Right.
But basically, whoever gets in your way, you can do whatever you want to get them out of your way.
It's like no fucking rules.
There's no rules.
No rules.
There's no substitutions. There's no timeouts. This is basically a street ball meets ball sport.
A 57-person melee.
57
Was it
persons.
57 people on each team?
No, there is 27 players.
27 players.
27 players on each team, so 54 total
Woo!
players in the game.
Yeah.
As you saw from the clip, hitting is allowed, fighting, body slamming, sand throwing,
Yeah.
kicking.
I mean, imagine you're just fucking beating the shit out of somebody, right? And your teammate comes with a big fucking clump of sand and just throws it at the other guy's like, fucking, ah!
Exactly.
Like, what a bitch move that would be.
Hey,
They
well,
probably got a dude on each team. There's got to be a dude who just fucking collects sand and puts them in his pockets and just fucking dusts
Yeah.
people.
oh yeah. Well, if you're gonna dust people, you got a very small window to dust people because this is such a hardcore sport. There's very limited amount of games.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so this entire sport and this entire league takes place over 3 games.
3 games, yep.
4 teams.
4 teams.
3 games,
Yep.
all right? It's a competition. It's a one-time, one-off that goes on in June every year, and it is winner take all, okay? So basically what happens is first round, you got the 2 teams versus the 2 teams. You get 2 winners, and then they play in a championship match.
That's it.
All right?
Bang, bang.
This goes on in the 3rd week of June in Florence, Italy.
Yep.
All right. 3rd week of June in Florence, Italy. It's always going down on June 24th. That's the day they do this thing. June 24th, you get the championship and 50 minutes of action for each match. And it's been around for a long time. It's been around since the Middle Ages in Italy.
Yeah.
Okay. So this ain't no sucker sport. This ain't no sport for the weak-hearted or the weak, all right? You saw in the video what it is, and there's a reason there's a limited amount of games.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be a bad man to play this game.
Exactly.
You gotta be a bad man.
Lots of injuries. It got to a point at one point that it got so gangster and so rough, they had to bring the police in to start,
Yeah,
monitoring
of course.
and looking over the matches because it just turned into players wanting to kill the other people.
Right, I'm sure with time it's, restrained. It got restrained a bit, but,
Exactly.
oof.
So that right there, if you're into that, you got to go check that out in Italy. We might have to take a little work vacation out there.
Yes, sir, next summer.
Workcation.
Let's go.